Welcome in to another edition of the PHNX D-Backs podcast. The Arizona Diamondbacks have two starting players. In the All-Star game, two starting players. My name is Derek Montilla, and I am known as the mayor of Phoenix for some reason. This guy next to me, as you can tell, is Mr. Electric, Shawn, and we will be joined by Thunderstick Jesse Friedman here shortly from the beautiful city of Seattle, where he has been following Zac Gallen and Corbin Carroll around all day today. But it is a beautiful day for Arizona Diamondbacks fans, or depending on how you want to look at it, it is the beginning of the end of Zac Gallen with the Diamondbacks. But I'm not going to go down that road.
What?
No, I'm not going down that
What?
road. Well, you know, he's starting in the All-Star game. That is the announcement here. And, you know, of course, just like if he wins the Cy Young, that price tag just keeps going up and up and up, right? So our hopes of extending him seem to keep dwindling. But that, again, I went down that path. I wasn't going to go down that path. I wasn't going to start this show like this. I was going to start the show by saying, Zac Gallen, your starting pitcher in the National League. This is very exciting. And, of course, we kind of expected it. We knew that there wasn't a ton of options as far as who could be starting. Some of the options we did bring up actually are no longer even participating, like Marcus Stroman in the All-Star game any longer. So Zac Gallen kind of became the clear-cut starter as far as his numbers go, but he has some impressive stats. He leads all Major League Baseball in wins currently with 11 wins and games started with 19 games started. He leads the National League in WHIP with a 1.048 WHIP and FIP with a 2.77 FIP. 11-3 this year, 3.04 ERA, 125 strikeouts.
Is that good?
23 walks.
That good?
That's pretty good. He has
Sounds
a
pretty good.
5.43 strikeout to walk ratio. Ryan's asking why. I don't even have an answer for you, Ryan. I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't know.
I was very uncalled for. I was headbanging. It was
gate.
a good Monday. And then you came out here and
my mind goes. But my mind goes.
Loving how you're unrelated. Loving how your hat is rocking with the shirt.
It's like good, right?
It's a whole thing.
It's a
fit.
whole
The
thing.
collar.
Do I show them that the shorts also
It's
match?
a fit.
It's a whole thing here, right?
It's a fit. Also makes me want some Big League Chew.
Yeah, I mean,
what's your favorite flavor of Big League Chew?
Oh man, blue raspberry.
Ooh, whoa! There's blue raspberry Big League Chew.
Oh yeah, they have new Big League Chews. They
have
some stuff out there that you don't even know.
Because
about,
it's been
your grape, your original.
The green apple is my or was it like the sour watermelon or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, how are we not going original here?
Because if we're going original, like,
but it's the best original bubblegum in the world, I think.
Okay, fair enough. As far as consuming bubblegum flavored bubblegum, I will say the Big League Chew is the best.
I don't know. I might rather have the Hubba Bubba Wheel.
I knew you were going with Hubba Bubba.
Bubba Wheel?
Because if I'm getting Big League Chew, I'm not wasting my. For me, Big League Chew is like sunflower seeds. Especially when I played baseball, I'm not wasting my time on the original flavor. Like I'm getting I'm getting a good flavor of Big League Chew, and I'm getting ranch wing or ranch.
Hubba Bubba is like non-ball player stuff, Shawn.
I agree, but I never chewed regular bubble gum. I either had a good flavor of Big League Chew, or I was chewing seeds.
You know what made Big League Chew elite was the fact that you could just keep adding to the wall.
Well, yeah. I mean, the idea behind it is genius.
In.
Like it's supposed to be chewing tobacco. That is genius.
It is fairly genius. But we're far off track. We're just excited. It's Home Run Derby Day.
Yes, sir.
It's All-Star Festivities Day. And, of course, the Arizona Diamondbacks have Zac Gallen as their starting pitcher for the National League in the All-Star game. So we're just thrilled. Again, Zac Gallen's numbers, that 3.04 ERA, 11-3, 125 strikeouts, 23 walks. And he hasn't even been that good lately, right? We know that. If you're a Diamondbacks fan, you know that. You know how bad he's been on the road.
I feel like we got to be saying, hasn't been that good by Zac Gallen standards.
Correct.
Like, he's been good even when he hasn't been great.
Yeah, compared to
by Zac Gallen
pitchers,
standards, he hasn't been good.
Yeah. He's had his ups and downs. He's definitely had some brilliant outings this season. I really felt like his last outing kind of solidified this start for him. But, you know, again, he's been nearly unhittable at Chase Field. I don't even understand what's going on there. And he joins quite a crew for the National League starters. Damon, do we have the National League starters? Here we go. Of course, Zac Gallen, your starting pitcher. And this is the starting lineup, you guys. This is Ronald Acuna Jr. leading things off. Freddie Freeman,
good at baseball.
Mookie Betts,
good at baseball.
JD Martinez. There's a whole. I don't like that whole Dodgers section right there. JD Martinez.
Wow, that is terrible.
Yeah, that's just 2, 3, 4 Dodgers. Nolan Arenado there in the fifth hole. Hit third baseman. Luis Ariz. I don't know about him hitting that low in the lineup. Sean Murphy, Corbin Carroll hitting 8th, and Orlando Arcia hitting 9th. Zac Gallen, of course, pitching.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm first off rip, I'm putting Luis Arias at the top of the line. I'm moving everybody down.
That's absolutely. If I'm trying to win, I'm doing.
He has the best batting average in baseball. Like, what are we talking about?
How are we not leading off?
Put him on base. Ronald Acuna has a chance to drive in 2 runs in his first at bat.
I really feel like Acuna should be hitting in the 2-hole.
Literally slide everything down.
Yeah.
I'd probably rather have Mookie second, batting ahead of Freddie, I think.
Okay, fair enough. And let's take a look at the American League starters. No, we don't have those yet. Well, here's the thing about the National League starters. There was a picture today that Jesse posted from Seattle of Garrett Cole and Zac Gallen standing next to each other. And that, with his caption that he posted, is really what got my negative thinking going down that route. And I
hate Garrett Cole so much.
I'm going to blame Jesse. I'm not taking a responsibility for my own thought process here. And then now I've bestowed that upon all of you. So now all of you have to deal with that as well.
I despise.
There's whatever. It is what it is. But Corbin Carroll hitting in the 8th hole for the National League. What are your thoughts on that? It would appear, and I put this out there, I just put it out there just because it's the All-Star game and you never know how early starters are going to get pulled, how these managers are going to manage the game, if they're just going to try to get everybody playing time or if they're going to actually manage it like a real game. I know most of the time the starters make it to the 3rd inning, so it means Corbin Carroll would at least get 1 at-bat. But do we want him having more than 1 at-bat? Do we want Corbin Carroll showing out in the All-Star game? Let me start by saying, like, deep down inside, I kind of want Corbin Carroll to show out and Zac Gallen not to. Again, but that's just because of my selfish contractual. The fact we've already extended Carroll and we haven't extended Gallen, right? But I'd love to see both of them shine here, and I would love to see Corbin Carroll at least showcased. But I don't really want him to get a lot of playing time.
Yeah. First off, to answer Michael's question, I hate Garrett Cole because I hate the New York Yankees. I mean, obviously, like, the baseball fan in me is just like, go win the MVP, young man. Like, that's really what I want. Is I want him to go up there and hit for the cycle and just be the greatest all-star performance since Pedro Martinez. That's not going to happen. He's probably only going to get 1 at-bat, at most 2. I don't really need him to do all that much. Because it's not like I said, unless if he was playing the whole game, that'd be different. Then I'd be like, okay, go play the whole game. But if you're only going to get a couple at bats anyways, like, no reason to make it more than 1. Like, go out there, let your family see you, make a couple plays in the outfield, steal a couple bases.
Call it a day.
He is going to steal a base as like his first pitch, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna he might steal home if given the opportunity.
He's seen the Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah, right? It's the All-Star game.
And he's mad about it. He's mad about it.
Because Damon and I were talking about this the other day. I think he likes baseball way too much to, like, ever do something that risky. But in a situation like this, or I think he's too smart of a baseball player to ever do something like that risky by trying to steal home in a game. Situation like this, go for it, young man. Why not?
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of love it. And I don't know. I just want everybody to have a good time. That's all I want. And I want nobody to get hurt, and I want everybody to stay as part of the Arizona Diamondbacks because this team still had an excellent first half. And even though the standings say they're not in first place, we don't buy that bullshit with a little percentage. Mo Schubert did choose violence today in the chat. He came with Gallen as the D-backs consolation prize for finishing second to the Dodgers in the final 2023 NL West standings. I've slept on this man's couch, and I just the disrespect here is just this is why I'm glad he moved to Toronto. Get out of here. But anyway,
disrespect.
The Arizona Diamondbacks did have a good draft day yesterday, I guess, as far as drafting elite baseball names, that's for sure. But the Diamondbacks took 3 players on day 1 of the MLB Draft. They took Tommy Troy, shortstop from Stanford. They took Geno Groover, third baseman from North Carolina University. And
80 grade name.
Caden Grice, Clemson University, with their 64th pick, competitive balance B pick. And yes, if you're asking us, they absolutely won the draft when it comes to elite baseball names. It's weird to want to give reactions because what do we know about these guys? You know,
I know that I hate Clemson.
Oh, see, so he already doesn't like Caden Grice, right? But if we go over these guys again, Tommy Troy, shortstop. He's ranked as the 2023 draft's number 17 prospect by MLB Pipeline, which is why some people aren't a huge fan of the pick. They felt like the Diamondbacks with 12th. There were some more options there, including some guys that were on their kind of list, Teal being one of them. went to the Boston Red Sox. But in 3 seasons with Stanford, Troy averaged 338 with 38 doubles, 7 triples, 34 home runs, and 109 RBI. His team qualified for the College World Series all 3 of the seasons he was there, and he's the 2-time Pac-12 team champion in 2022 and 23. So, and we talked a little bit about it during the draft show, but he was like the Cape Cod Baseball League player, of the
and the Cape Cod League is no
season.
Joke.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a very competitive amateur league when it happens. So, it's definitely impressive.
But Gino Groover, third baseman, incredible name. As a junior, he hit 332 with 8 doubles, 1 triple, 13 home runs, and 50 RBI. In 2 seasons with North Carolina State, he hit 348. So these are some guys that can play the infield and, of course, have some consistency at the plate, which I'm sure is one of the keys that the Diamondbacks are looking for. And Caden Grice, even though he doesn't want to acknowledge him due to the school that he chose to go to, he was ranked as the number 118th prospect by MLB and number 121 by Baseball America. Diamondbacks took him 64th overall. So there's some stuff within the Diamondbacks analytics department, I feel like, that's going beyond basing their selections on they said they were going to go with the best available talent, but they really didn't go with the best available talent. They kind of they stretched almost for every guy because I feel like they kind of, saw something.
I mean, best available is subjective, right? Like, I think if you ask them, I'm sure they did take the best available player.
Right.
And I mean, again, I read Moneyball recently. And like something they talk about at length in that book is like, it doesn't matter where you draft them if they end up being a good player. Like, no one's going to care. And B, like, so often teams are wrong. Like, so
that's very
so
true.
Often teams are wrong. So fuck the scouts and all, not even the scouts, but all of these writers and stuff that are doing mock draft, like, or whatever. Like, they know even less. Like, so I mean, it's obviously all a crapshoot. They obviously have an idea of what kind of players they want in this organization, and like you said, whether it's their analytics department, their scouts, whatever, like they obviously saw something in these guys. So after you get past the first 5 picks, basically, like, I'm all for you going to get the guy that you think is like whoever is your guy. If like, obviously there's certain situations where like it's egregious to pass up a certain amount of talent, but you're in the competitive balance rounds, like H fucking K, like, go draft the guy that you think has the highest ceiling or whatever, or like whatever your motivation is.
Well, here's the thing: is the Diamondbacks have had some good luck when it comes to their recent draft picks and the success that those guys have had, dating back to Dansby Swanson, even though he's no longer with the team, and kind of everybody that they've selected, especially in the first round since then. There's still some guys that haven't been, haven't proven themselves yet. Obviously, there's a lot of questions even about some like Drew Jones and even Jordan Lawler. So. It's about developing these guys at a minor league level and seeing something in them that you think is going to flourish, something that is going to that's going to allow them to reach their potential of being a major league ball player. So many of these guys at a minor league level don't. So it is such a crapshoot when it comes to
and so often it's like you're basing it off of potential. It's not even what they've done. You see that they have the ability to maybe be a certain kind of pitcher, or maybe their body builds out to them being a more effective power, like whatever it is. Like you're obviously basing a lot of this on projections. So and everything is projected. Even at the top of the draft, you're projecting that they are going to get to an MLB level talent. So if you really, like I said, there's a guy that you think really has a chance to project out to being not even necessarily like being an MVP candidate or an all-star, but maybe being a terrific glove or a terrific, like a DH or whatever, like. Well, you got to go with your gut.
And Motion brings up, I love that they got a 2-way guy, and that's Caden Grice. Caden Grice in 3 seasons with Clemson went 10-2 with a 3.73 ERA and 122 strikeouts. But then he also hit 288 with a 958 OPS with 35 doubles, 2 triples, 45 homers, and 161 RBI. Why do we need Ohtani when we have Ohtani at home? We drafted Ohtani last night. We don't need to go out and pay big money for him. We have him in our system already.
I still want Shohei Ohtani, but yeah, no, it's awesome. And I think my biggest fear, like when it comes to getting excited about drafting 2-way players, is that I feel like in the minors so often that kind of stuff gets beat out of players.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not like top tier at both of them. they're going to eventually probably make them focus on one or the other. But hopefully Shohei's success has kind of maybe opened up the minds of front offices to allow him to explore both being a two-way player. And if that's the case, if you end up, I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to be as good as Shohei to be a valuable part of an organization if he can be effective both at the plate and on the mound.
Well, here's the thing is that we want these guys to be able to move through the system. And I think I'm Larry said, I love who they selected. Their first 4 picks, especially are college guys who each have really good upside. The college guys thing seems to be, especially considering Corbin Carroll wasn't a college guy, right? The college guys seem to be a focus for this team. And when you talk about how that impacts their progress, their journey to making it to the major leagues, the Arizona Diamondbacks organization has already promoted Ivan Melendez to Double-A Amarillo. Today he has been promoted to the Sod Poodles. So Ivan Melendez, who was just drafted in 2022,
and
was a college player,
right?
Second round pick, correct. Overall pick number 43, drafted out of Texas. And he is already with the Sod Poodles. That means we could see the Hispanic Titanic as early as next season.
And I love that the franchise is clearly showing that, like, if it doesn't, they don't care how long you've been here, how old you are, whatever. Like, if you're ready to be playing at the next level, like, they're going to put.
He was
you there.
killing it for the hops. I mean, he was absolutely smashing the ball for the hops. So I mean, it makes sense for them to make that move. But again, the Diamondbacks, I feel like, have a pretty proficient coaching system, because we are seeing these guys kind of move through the system quickly, like we did with Corbin Carroll. Maybe nobody quite as fast as him, but other guys are moving through the system, showing that level of success. You also pair that with the fact that when guys are getting sent back down, like what we saw with Alec Thomas and Jake McCarthy, they're able to come back to the major leagues and be right again. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
well, that's what I was going to say. Like, that's when you're a franchise that's never going to be able to compete financially, with obviously the big players, you have to figure out your farm system head to toe.
Yeah,
like you have no choice. Which is why I mentioned on the draft show yesterday, like, you look at a team like the Royals, and obviously they have the World Series not too long ago, but I mean that's almost a decade ago now at this point. And like they're the
time slips by so fast.
Yeah, I know, but they have like the 29th ranked farm system in the league and are also the worst team in baseball. Like, there is no hope there. And again, not everyone's going to have a Padres-esque owner that's going to outspend what they should reasonably compared to that market. Like, you got to figure out the farm system. And obviously it's a relatively small sample size based on a couple of years now, but you look at the development of guys like Corbin, and on a lesser scale guys like Ivan, and then also you mentioned guys like Alec and Jake, the rebound that they're able to make when they get sent back down there. Like, it seems like they have a pretty good foundation for having a really good major league team.
I have some updates on new picks if you guys want to hear them.
Yeah, let's go.
Third round pick, Jack Hurley, was the 36th ranked player on MLB.com.
Wow.
Picked him with the 80th pick.
Jack Hurley. Wow.
Yeah, left-handed outfielder. Typical D-backs.
Come on, turn
then we
things around a
got
little bit.
Grayson Hitt, right-handed pitcher from Alabama.
No way. Is a pitcher named Hit?
Mm-hmm.
A pitcher named Hit.
Oh, come on,
Come
dude.
on.
That's cursed.
Kevin
that's
Sim,
so good.
a third baseman from USD.
They only draft kids with like one syllable names.
Can James Outman trade his name with Hit? And
Yeah,
then he
for
can
real.
Be Outman, and then
Exactly.
James Hit?
No.
Jimmy Hit, that's
listen,
a fire name.
But I will take the sacrifice of this random prospect sucking because he has the last name Hit if that means James Outman is dead forever. Not
True.
Dead.
Philip Abner, left-handed pitcher from Florida, and Ryan Bruno, a teammate of Tommy Troy's at Stanford, also a left-handed pitcher. So all college guys so far.
All college guys.
I love it.
All
Again, that's a big money ball thing.
Let's go.
It's a big money ball thing. High school
Sifted
kids
through
don't
those
pan out.
college guys, right?
Because again, getting back to the projection thing, you're making an even further out projection when you're projecting
high school kids.
Absolutely. And it's much harder to know what their competition is like. Obviously less now, especially with things like Perfect Game and all that stuff. But
can you imagine interviewing a bunch of high school kids and trying to get a feel for which one of them is going to be like a solid human being going forward? Right? Like, they're all going to give you all the perfect answers. They're all going to come off as being really good natured, good kids.
And I think about who I was at 18. Like, they probably, if you drafted me when I was coming out of high school, you would have thought like, oh, it's a real quiet kid, real like, I don't know, maybe if his frame fills out like he's like 120 25. No, I was like 165 pounds soaking wet.
You should hear the way he terrorizes the office with his questions.
Did Shawn just say he was quiet?
Kid. I don't. That does not compute.
Talk to Shane about this. I've talked to him about it before. Like when I started here, I was so quiet. I don't like people, and if I don't know you and I'm not comfortable around you, I don't talk.
That's my co-host right there.
But I like I'm comfortable around you, so I'll talk a bunch.
Well, we are very excited for the Home Run Derby tonight, by the way.
So excited.
Because the Home Run Derby, in my opinion, is the best all-star sport-related thing that exists.
Yeah, we were just talking about that on bets. Totri and I just agreed. It's not even close.
It's not even close. Like, I don't even really need the All-Star game, to be honest, but I still can't believe at one point we were so stupid that we decided to make, home field advantage in the World Series depended on the All-Star game. That's still nuts to me. If anything, it should have been determined by the goddamn Home Run Derby. That would have been fine.
That would be money.
Home Run Derby tonight is crazy. I can't wait. A lot of big names in it, and I feel like that's the big difference, right? Like when you talk about maybe the slam dunk competition potentially, like a rivalry, being a rival to it, you just don't get those big names that now are kind of coming out for the Derby, and you're getting the best talent in baseball participating.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I think that's again part of why I love baseball's all-star festivities so much. And I know this might sound like a shot at the sport of baseball, but I've talked about this before. Like you compare it to the other sports, baseball played at half speed or half effort is far closer to the actual product than you get in NBA or whatever. Like
you have to. Yeah, you have to actually try.
Yeah, and baseball, like it obviously is a slightly more passive sport just by the nature of how it is. So like you can play good baseball without necessarily playing at 100%. I think, and the Home Run Derby obviously is just hitting home runs.
You're absolutely right.
And
it's
it was something that Totri and I were talking about. Like he bet on J-Rod, and I was like, J-Rod kind of sucks this year, but he's like, but that doesn't matter. He's not getting curveballs. Like he's just got to hit 70 mile per hour BP fastballs.
He's not striking out.
Exactly. Yeah. So like it's very different. Like I think the nature of the sport of baseball lends to this week being super entertaining.
Yeah. That's a great point.
And I love it. Like it's so much fun. And also like going up to do crazy dunks, if you're LeBron James in his prime, it's a much bigger risk there than going up and trying to hit home runs. Like,
that's fair.
It's the chances of you, obviously Corbin makes this a little different, but the chances of you just hurting yourself swinging at pitches is not very high compared to the chance of you doing something going very wrong on a dunk.
I think the best thing I can compare it to, or that I feel like illustrates this, is the difference between watching the Harlem Globetrotters take on the Washington Generals versus watching the Savannah Bananas take on the Party Animals.
Yeah.
The Party Animals actually whoop the Savannah Bananas ass quite often.
Yeah.
It's a regular occurrence, right? And the reason why is because with all the choreographed dance routines, with all the theatrics, with the pitchers on stilts and guys lighting the ball on fire, at the end of the day, it's still a baseball game being played.
And I mean,
it's still a pitcher throwing a ball and a guy
Negro
hitting
leagues.
it.
Yeah,
right?
like I was just reading a book about the Negro Leagues, and it was one of the things, like the Indianapolis Clowns, like they are one of the most legendary Negro Leagues teams ever, and they also like they were very good, and they also like literally just had they had a guy on the team who also was on the Harlem Globetrotters, and it's like some of them were pretty good baseball players, but they were also there to just entertain the crowd and mess around and stuff like that in non-league games. So like
I get it,
baseball
though. That
is
seems
meant
like
for
way more fun, even if you're still slightly playing it competitive.
Yeah,
I mean,
baseball,
like
especially in games that are non-league games that are really at their root for entertainment, like baseball is built to have fun with, which is why it drives me crazy that the sport during the regular season is so unfun at times, and the league seems dead set on making it not fun. It's especially so built to be fun.
Yeah, when you watch college and you see all the stuff they're doing. I mean, come on, Lourdes Gurriel built sandcastles, and that was incredible. It was one of my favorite moments of the first half, right? But who do you have money bet on the BetMGM app for the Home Run Derby? Because I will give you my selection. My selection was I went with a plus 600 odds on Pete Alonso and Luis Robert being in the final. I know that's kind of lame, but I felt like that was pretty safe with the plus 600 value.
I think that's what Totri took on bets as well.
Yeah.
I like I said the other day, I think Pete Alonso's going to win. I also am dabbling on Vlad Guerrero Jr. because the man doesn't hit home runs anywhere. He does not hit home runs in Toronto, but he hits a bunch of them outside of Toronto. His ass is a wagon.
His ass is a wagon.
It's a fucking massive wagon. It's almost as big of a wagon as the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Let's go.
And I'm just like, why not? Plus, it's Seattle. You're going to have a big Toronto Canadian support base there.
All right. I'm on board.
Why not? And also Adley Rutschman, because why not? It'd be a vibe. His dad's pitching to him.
Yeah, that's dope. Anytime a father is involved with anything home run related.
Oh, the media loves those stories.
Oh, I love it too. But
we are the media.
We are the media.
Correct.
I guess. I mean, kind of. But of course, we thank you guys for joining us and make sure you make those bets on the BetMGM app. If you haven't played the BetMGM Swing for the Fences free-to-play game, get down on it right now. Log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Play the BetMGM game from now until September 7th. All you have to do is be a batter, pick a zone. You'll single, you'll double, you'll triple, you'll
Christian
homer,
Walker?
you'll walker, or you fly out, and you'll get the prize associated with that. Prizing must be used on Major League Baseball betting, and it must be used within 24 hours. So make sure you get in on that before it expires. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM app yet, use bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live. But for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 in bonus bets back if it loses with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use bonus code PHNX. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
That guitar is sneaky. You never know when that's guitar. The rhythm is going to get you, and you never know when it's going to get you. But we thank you guys for being here at the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. We thank you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of the shows go live. Leave us a review or leave us a little thumbs up. We appreciate that. We always love that. If you're listening on the audio podcasting side, leave us a review there. Subscribe there as well. We thank you guys for so much for doing that. And if you want to, if you desire to, there is a great value in joining us as a member of the PHNX Diehards crew. Become part of our family. Not only do you get a $50 gift certificate from Mountain Mike's, you get a ranch card for Dobson Ranch Golf Course. You get all sorts of freebies, including a free shirt from the PHNXLocker.com or a free hat, 20% off all free future purchases, and so much more. You get Jesse's newsletter, Full Count, where he is somewhere right now hiding in Seattle, not being on our show right now, just writing away for his newsletter.
Oh, Jesse.
But he is enjoying the beautiful Seattle weather, and I'm just jealous. That's really
it was so nice this morning, and I looked at my watch, and it was 99 degrees, and I'm like, God, I hate the summer.
Oh, it's the worst here. But of course, what you don't get here is protection from the sun with our membership, but you do get so much more from our partners. So make sure to sign up today over at gophnx.com.
Get discounts on our events, and we have one coming up.
We have an event coming up. We do. We have one of our takeover events. So make sure to not miss out on that. It's our one of our best takeover
$60 regular price, $48 if you're a diehard.
And you get a little slider sampler. Mm-hmm. You get little slider samplers. They're gonna have the mac and cheese. They're gonna have the French fries. We're gonna be at cold beers and cheeseburgers. It's gonna be incredible. So make sure to join up. And I think the seats are pretty damn good in that one. I think we're underneath the home run porch out there in the outfield.
Hell yeah!
We are gonna be having some fun. Make sure to join us for that. But we always have fun here every day, every week. Every week on this show is Shark Week. Of course, every day on this show is Earth Day. But this is Monday. And God damn it, you know what we do on Monday. We go to the mailbag. Mega Ray, let's go!
My mailbox, always something interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox. And then once in a while, there's a letter that makes me go, wow, wow, my mailbox.
All right, what do we got for our first question, Dave? First question comes from Scooter2319, Scott the Human. Good that you're human.
That definitely sounds like something a non-human would say.
Yeah, I don't trust you that you're actually human. But anyway, what's the update on Dre's elbow from Scott the Human? Not good. The update is not good. As far as we know, the Diamondbacks have been told that Dre Jameson has a UCL situation, and it will probably require Tommy John surgery. They are seeking out a second opinion, and I think mostly that is on Dre's behalf. Dre probably doesn't want to be shut down, nor does he want to, have this be real. It was interesting because the symptoms that he experienced in the game that he was in was cramping in his wrist. It wasn't the usual tightness in the forearm or inflammation that apparently he experienced the next day. So it doesn't look good, if I'm being honest. And when Torey Lovullo said that his concern level was, like, he didn't hesitate to say that his concern level was high, I felt like we all know what it is. You want to make sure before you go down that route, because it's such a long, obviously it's such a long recovery period, and you don't want to be making that call unnecessarily. So they are going to go about a second opinion, but I have not received any updates yet in regards to that second opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is that he's young, and at this point, like, Tommy John surgery is by no means like a death knell to your career. So
yeah, and obviously not what it used to be at one point.
It obviously sucks because we talked at length about the D-backs window, and it might being right now / next year, and if he's missing a significant portion of that, then like that sucks for him, and obviously sucks for the team because I've said before I thought he was going to be a big contributor in the postseason. So it definitely sucks, but as far as his career goes in a vacuum, like, it's by no means ruined or anything like that. Like, it's, if you're going to have this happen, it's good to have it when you're young.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the Diamondbacks are just in a position where they kind of needed Dre. Torey Lovullo had just been asked before the game that he injured himself if Dre was going to potentially be an option for them out of the bullpen in high leverage situations, and it sounded like Torey was a go on that until they brought him in, until this injury occurred. But Jesse pointed this out. They've been primarily using him in mop-up situations as it stands, which hasn't been the greatest usage of him. Not only has he had kind of big gaps in between when he has appeared, but he also, wasn't really being used in a way that a lot of people thought Dre Jameson should be used.
Yeah, and that's, I think, again, part of why this sucks is, like, it seemed like there was so much potential, and not just him being a good pitcher, but also like figuring out what role he was going to have in this team.
Right.
I've said a bunch of times that to me he has the mentality of a closer.
He does.
And I think, and he, like we've talked about a lot, he enjoys those high leverage situations, and there's no more high leverage situations than trying to save a game in the bottom of the ninth. So like I would have loved to see him potentially maybe grow into that role, especially if they don't end up getting a closer at the deadline, which is not to say that he can't later on in his career, but obviously not at any point that's going to help this team probably in the next two seasons, or this season, next season. So that definitely sucks. But again, no reason he can't become that later on.
Brady Martin says, I'm still perplexed as to why he kept pitching on Thursday. I think a lot of people are. I think the Diamondbacks, I think Torey Lovullo are questioning themselves as far as leaving him in there. I don't know. It's the same concern we had about Corbin Carroll, right?
Yeah.
It basically comes down to these guys want to play, and they're going to try to do everything they can to play. And sometimes you have to be that voice of reason that gives them, that tells them that they have to.
It's the downside of being like a player's coach, a player's manager. You sometimes have to not trust the player. Right. You have to protect them from themselves, which obviously is not always going to sit well with guys that are as competitive as the guys on this team. So
I also just
hopefully it teaches them a lesson. Maybe?
Yeah, I just don't know if him continuing to pitch was the reason why.
Well, yeah, I mean,
this injury.
Realistically, at that point, if he's already feeling discomfort and the wrist cramping or whatever was a result of that, I mean, at that point it's too late at that point.
Yeah,
like, if you need Tommy John surgery, you need Tommy John surgery.
Right,
so
right.
And also, I mean, they're coming off the back of Corbin of them taking him out of the game and him just being completely fucking fine. So.
Yeah, that's an interesting one too. Like, I still don't understand
completely fine
the superhuman rebound that Corbin Carroll had there, but I'm still not comfortable with it. But yeah, hopefully we see Dre Jameson make a full recovery and bounce back. And I mean, it's there's no doubting the fact that within the organization they're always going to question how they used him this year and how that impacted this injury and how it impacted him as a pitcher. So. What else we got, Damon? Michael comes with a what are we doing here? 5-part question, Michael?
No, I think it's multiple choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael says, what do you think is the most realistic finish for the D-backs here? Michael says, 1, win division, get the bye. 2, win division, no bye. 3, lose division, host wild card. 4, lose division on road for wild card. 5, no playoffs. I don't like that last one. Let's get that last one just deleted out of there. What do you think here?
I think that they host a wild card. I mean,
lose division, host wild card.
Yeah,
that feels like the most likely.
It's just like the Dodgers are a steam engine train that will not be denied. They are the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're going to win the division. It's just the reality of the matter. I don't think that. Although I need them to. Damon knows about this. I don't think the Padres are going to come back. I accidentally, a little aside, watching UFC on the weekend, tried to live bet a UFC fighter, and I accidentally parlayed it with the Padres to win the division. So if the Padres win the division, I make a bunch of money, but I'm not. And the guy won. The guy won the bet after I live bet on him. So let's go Padres. But no, I don't think the Padres are going to win the division.
Don't bet drunk, folks.
No, I know.
Don't bet drunk.
I don't think the Padres are going to win the division. I don't think the Giants are. So I feel good about the D-backs holding on to second in the division, but I don't think the Dodgers are going to be denied. And I think they are the best team in the National League that is not going to win the division. I'm not worried about the Mets. I'm not worried. I'm worried about the Mets if we have to play them in the postseason, but I'm not worried about the Mets in terms of kind of hopping over the D-backs for a wild card spot.
All right. I'm going to go with that they win the division.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go with win division, but
let's do it.
And host a game. I'm going to go with win division, host a game. I'm going all the way to the top. We got Jesse Friedman finally joining us. He's stable. He's got a good connection. He looks beautiful, and he is at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Jesse, welcome in. We missed you. We love you. And we need to ask you, where do you think the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to finish at the end of the year? Michael Rokicki wanted to know. Are we talking about they're going to win a division? Are they going to win a division and host a game? Win a division, be on the road, have a wild card spot and host a game, have a wild card spot on the road, or no playoffs at all? What are you going with?
Oh my gosh, you're just gonna put me on the spot like this?
Right on the spot. Get in here and just get on the fire. I'm putting you right in the frying pan, pal.
All right, so I think with the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers being in the spot that they're at, right? Both of those teams are tied going into the second half. I don't think it's outrageous at all to think that the Diamondbacks could win this division. But I also, if you're kind of going based on projections and based on, what most people are probably going to say, the Dodgers are probably the favorites to win the division. I think it's very possible the Diamondbacks could find their way there. But yeah, if I'm picking, I would say the Diamondbacks do not win the division. But I will say that they win the wild card. I'll say the Diamondbacks wind up with the top wild card spot in the National League. So
wow.
There's my answer.
All right. Well, it's tough, right? I mean, and again, it remains to be seen what this team does at the trade deadline. Hopefully, they can make something happen that kind of pushes this team into that contention for the division at the end of the season and maybe that championship run, right? But how are things in Seattle? What is the mood now that Zac Gallen has been named the starter to the National League All-Star team?
I mean, the mood seems to be great. I mean, for him, I don't think there's anything he would rather be doing during his All-Star break than starting the game in the National League. That's obviously a huge honor. I did talk to Zac about that a few days ago back in Arizona about, whether he was interested in starting the game. Obviously, I kind of figured that he would be. And just, what that would mean to him if he got that opportunity. And it was funny. He basically told me, like, yes, it would be a huge honor, and I would love to do it for that reason. But also, I'm a very routine-oriented guy, and I want to start the game. I don't want to have to deal with messing up my rhythm and pitching out of the bullpen.
That's a great point.
That's not something I had thought about.
Zac is happy to be doing that for sure. But he's such a routine-oriented guy. I think that's a big factor as well.
It's funny because we talk about that with the home run derby, where sometimes guys maybe don't want to risk, like, for some reason, participating in the home run derby and having it like impacting their swing for the second half or anything like that. But that's an interesting take that I can kind of see, especially with Zac being the way he is, that would be a big deal to him. Speaking of the home run derby, Jesse, excited for tonight. What are your thoughts on the contestants here participating in the home run derby?
I'm going Adolis Garcia all the way, man.
Yeah, you're still on board with that?
I don't know why I have that feeling, but for some reason I do. I believe that Luis Robert and Adolis Garcia line up to play each other in the second round if they both get past the first round. I feel like whoever wins that is going to win the whole thing. Although I think Julio is going to have his moment. I think he's going to put on a show in front of the home fans. I think he's going to take down Pete Alonso, and I'm sure a heavily contested first round. But I've got Adolis Garcia winning the whole thing.
I think J-Rod is going to try too hard.
Yes,
that's what I think is going to happen.
I don't believe in him at all.
He's going to be in front of his home crowd. I mean, maybe he's comfortable because he's there at T-Mobile Park, but there's just something about it that I don't know. I mean, that seems like such a great story and the obvious pick, but not the pick that a lot of people are going with. But we had, Jesse, a question here. Do we want to go on? Let's go on to our next Mailbag Monday question because, of course, this is about another All-Star.
Right up Jesse's alley.
And Jesse, Jacob Schultz wants to know if Corbin Carroll played in Summer League, what would his stat line be?
If he played like NBA Summer League, is that?
I think that's what he's asking for. I don't know about an MLB
he's
Summer
definitely
League.
running the point. I'll say that.
Yeah, he's point guard. He's point guard on the Suns Summer League team.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously is presumably be faster than anyone else on the court. So I mean, that has to be worth something. He's also
a lot of breakaway points.
If we're legitimately talking about NBA Summer League, I mean, Corbin Carroll would be criminally undersized.
That's a fair point.
So I want to say he would, drop like 25 with 11 assists or something. But at that size, I'm not sure how bullish I feel.
What about baseball's version of Summer League?
That would be
spring
like
training?
Fall League?
Fall League, I guess.
Would Fall League be like baseball's version of Summer League? Or would it be more like spring training?
Yeah, I think Fall League is a pretty good. I think Fall League is a pretty good approximation of what Summer League is for the NBA. If Corbin Carroll played in the Fall League at this point, I think he would absolutely just go off.
Average 450.
Oh my God! I think he might do more than that. I think he might get on. I think he might have hits on the majority of his at bats.
The man is incredible. And I've seen some of your pictures, some of your videos, some of your posts from him. It feels like Seattle's really embracing their guy coming back home.
Yeah, man, he was mobbed the entire time. We just finished with media availability, and it was
I bet he hated that, Jesse. He hated that.
Yeah, I think deep down he was probably protesting, but Corbin's a good guy and a lot of fun to talk to, and people were asking him about favorite restaurants in the area. He gave some pointers there, although he did give the very safe answer that the best place to eat in Seattle is in his mom's kitchen, which I'm sure she would give him brownie points for that.
There we go. Let's go.
But yeah, he was actually at a T-Mobile store earlier today, doing like a meet and greet with fans. Apparently, one of his like school grade teachers showed up and said hi, and that was kind of a cool moment for him too.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, just really. I also just talking with his agent Joe Urban, who's on site here as well, and just what the last few days have been like for Corbin, and it just seems so apparently so clear to me that while everyone around Corbin was very concerned about him potentially not getting this opportunity, and obviously dealing with the shoulder issue, and we've had those conversations right on the show about how devastating that would be if that happened, and it just seems very clear from what I've heard that throughout this whole process, Corbin has probably been the least concerned person in the room. He's just so good at staying in the moment and just taking each day as it comes. And I'm sure he's embracing that right now, just trying to live in the moment and soak up all of this that he possibly can. This is the only time in Corbin Carroll's career that he will play in an All-Star game in Seattle. Just the way that the timing works. This is it. So it's a once in a lifetime kind of a thing for him, and he seems to be taking it all in.
That's beautiful, man. And honestly, I hate to be constantly thinking about how this benefits the Diamondbacks, but I'm like, this is good training for him, right? Like the more this team wins, if they do make it in the playoffs, if they do make it deep, there is going to be this kind of media coverage, and he is going to be a focal point because he is the most valuable player right now on this team. It would probably be a toss-up between him and Zac Gallen, but I would be leaning that Corbin Carroll has already he's already made that impact where he is the most valuable player on this team overall. But we did discuss this earlier. I wanted to get your thoughts. Corbin Carroll getting at bats in the All-Star game with him batting 8th. What are your thoughts on him batting 8th, and what are your thoughts on him maybe not getting very many at bats? Good thing or bad thing?
I mean, he'll definitely get one. He's not like they're going to pull him before he gets that first opportunity.
Right.
I do, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long Rob Thompson sticks with the starters and how soon Corbin is removed from the game. It initially sounded like Corbin Carroll a few weeks ago was sort of elected in as a center fielder, but I guess that wasn't necessarily true. So Carroll's actually starting in left field. Mookie Betts is playing center field for the National League. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Rob Thompson uses Corbin in this game, but I'm sure he'll get an at bat, and honestly, that's all that really matters here.
All right, Jesse. Well, we will let you get back to all of your shenanigans that you have going on there in Seattle, but we look forward to more reports on everything from tonight's Home Run Derby, and then we'll have you join us after tomorrow's All-Star game. Can't wait for you to bring us all sorts of updates on how these guys did.
Sounds good, guys. Have fun.
Jesse. You have fun. We're going to be here in Phoenix fucking melting our asses off. You have fun in the beautiful weather.
I feel like I have to see.
Oh, shut up.
Work? Can you guys see out here?
Yeah, that's
fucking rubbing it in.
Cloudy. It's cloudy. It's like 63 degrees. It's ideal.
That sounds
really,
so
really
nice.
All right. I don't want to talk to him anymore. Get him out of here. Jesse, get him out of my screen. Bye, Jesse. We'll see you later. But of course, we're here in Phoenix where it's 150 degrees today. Patio season could be here. Illegal Pete's has misters, so if there's a place you want to escape the heat, go there. Get patio beers on their patio. Check out all of their wonderful locations. They have happy hour 3 to 8 p.m. daily. They have all of their wonderful drinks as well as their full menu with tacos, burritos, nachos, bowls, everything that you want. Their full bar has custom cocktails and beers. And, of course, don't miss out on the queso. The queso is incredible. Get yourself queso. Kick off your week with Margarita Monday at Illegal Pete's, exclusive to our Arizona location, so Jesse can't get this shit in Seattle. $3 margaritas all day, every Monday. Nothing brightens up that Monday mood more than soaking up the sun. I don't know about that, but margaritas. Soaking up the sun with margaritas is always a good thing. And don't forget about Taco Tuesdays. $2 tacos all day, every Tuesday. Enjoy your favorite chicken, pork, veggie tacos for just $2. So swing by and start your week off the right way at Illegal Pete's.
Just found my new least favorite baseball player of all time.
Who's that?
Kiko Romero.
Why is that?
I mean, he's a wildcat that got drafted by the Yankees, so.
I played baseball with him growing up.
What a combination there.
I tell him I hate him.
He's a good guy.
No, he's not. He's a piece of shit.
He backpicked me one time in high school. Coach was not happy.
Something the piece of shit does.
Coach was not happy.
Yeah, I imagine you got in trouble for that.
I'm sure he's a nice guy, but fuck the Yankees, fuck the Cats.
We have more mailbag.
Kiko Romero, great baseball name, though.
That's incredible.
Great baseball name. Yeah. Enrique Romero.
Yep. Anyway, we got more Mailbag Monday presented by MOR Furniture, which is exactly what you need to buy for your home. MOR Furniture. Whether it is replacing that old recliner, that old couch. I have a couch now that I am starting to cover. So it's time. It's time for a new couch. When you start strategically placing a blanket on your couch, you know it's time to just buy a new couch. And of course, the best place to do that is at morefurniture.com. Get their white glove delivery service, have them carry that thing over, replace your old couch with it, place it where you want it to. And of course, we thank them for making our studio my favorite place to be. So save big on the best furniture in the Valley when you head to morefurniture.com. And of course, here is the MOR Mailbag Monday questions presented by MOR Furniture. What do we got, Damon? D-backs UK, shout out to the UK. They say one player you guys think we should go for at the deadline. And I've kind of had my target as far as a pitcher goes. Yeah. Eduardo Rodriguez from the Detroit Tigers. Erod has been fairly good for the Tigers, but this season he has been especially good. Probably having one of his best seasons, which of course is probably going to command a high value. He right now he has a 2.64 ERA. He's got a lot of strikeouts, 74 strikeouts, 16 walks. Kind of a good pickup from a bad team and one of the few teams that probably isn't really in it at this point, which is hard to say about a lot of teams in baseball.
Yeah. I'd like it. When he's pitching, he's a very good pitcher. He had a weird history, a weird couple of years since he left Boston.
The Red Sox, right?
Yeah. Well, no, he was good with Boston, but ever since he left Boston, he had a couple of weird years where he had like COVID and he had some long-lasting, or he had like a heart issue from that, I believe, and he was out for like most of a year. It's weird, but I mean, when he's pitching, he's a very good pitcher. I would love him. I would love Marcus Stroman. Talk about a bunch. He's one of my favorite players in baseball. If the Cubs decide to sell at the deadline, and they manage to get him somehow, that would be awesome. Before the Mets series, I wanted David Robertson, but at this point, I don't know that they're going to be selling it all. So
yeah, I know that sucks now, but that's the problem, right? That is exactly what teams are waiting for. We've even heard from teams. I think it was the Cubs that said if they are going to part ways with Marcus Stroman, it's going to be on July 31st, like 31st at 11:59 p.m. They are not parting ways with him before they know for sure what they feel like the direction the team is going after the trade deadline. And it's interesting because, of course, there's a lot of teams that I mean, things are going to change for them pretty quickly here. Things could change for the Diamondbacks. I mean, it's not to say I don't think the Diamondbacks are ever going to drift into sellers, but
I mean, you have a bad month of July. It could completely shift how you look at where the plan of the rebuild and whether or not this becomes a year that you think is worth taking risks on.
I feel like I'm just being negative Nancy.
Well, no, but I mean, I feel like it's the conversation we've kind of been dancing around for a while, right? Like
after the All-Star break, they have 3 with the Blue Jays, 3 with the Braves, 3 with the Reds, 3 against the Cardinals, and then 3 against the Mariners. Who fucking knew that the Cardinals, when looking at that part of the schedule at the beginning of the year, that the Cardinals would be the easy part?
Oh boy! But of course, they're coming here, and so who knows if they? I mean, they're like the Mets and the Padres, where it's like, just they have one good series, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, this team is back to what they were supposed to be, and now they become real dangerous.
Not to mention the fact that in 1 month we see the Dodgers come to town, then we have the Padres, and then the Rockies, and then the Padres again. Like, we get in all those games that we've missed against the Dodgers and the Padres so far this season fairly quickly once August rolls around. So the Diamondbacks have still a very, very difficult stretch ahead of them, including games with the Yankees, your favorite, and the Astros to pretty much close out the season.
Oh my God. If they can sweep the Yankees.
Yeah.
I will. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll do something drastic. I hate literally.
We're going to have to set something up.
I will have to set something on fire.
Damon, you heard that. Did you say something on fire?
I'll set something on fire.
My God, man.
Dude, there's literally few things in this world that get me worked up like the New York Yankees do. I hate them with every fiber of my being. Like, if I had to lose someone I love to guarantee they never saw success, I'd take it in a heartbeat. I hate the New York Yankees. I hate their fans. I hate everything that organization stands for. I hate Aaron Boone. I like Aaron Judge, though. He's cool.
All right.
We still have to set something on fire for Cattell not being in the All-Star game.
True. There's a lot of reasons to set things on fire when you're an Arizona
sports fan. Start an entire riot. All right. What else we got?
Yes.
Damon? We need to control this, man. Brian Bobbitt says the team has a completely different vibe when they start creating chaos. How much do we embrace that without it becoming extremely predictable and easy to stop?
I think it already is predictable.
It's not easy to stop.
Yeah, it's just not easy to stop. Yeah, I mean, you know that Corbin and Jake McCarthy are going to run most likely when they're on the base paths.
Now you got Christian Walker being a menace.
Yeah, so as well. That, the kind of thing, if he keeps doing that, like, he will start getting caught.
Yeah.
But try as you might, it's still difficult to get Corbin and Jake McCarthy specifically out. They were very fast.
Yeah.
And they're very good at stealing bases. So
and what's weird is it almost feels like the more you anticipate that they're going to, the more nervous you are that they're going to, and the more mistakes
you got to deliver a perfect throw. And you've seen that recently. I feel like they've been forcing fielders to make bad throws, specifically Jake the other day when he made it happen twice. Like, I think it is predictable at this point. Corbin's leading the league, or not leading the league. He's one of the best one of the league leaders in stolen bases. Yeah. Like, he's most likely going to take a base.
But you still can't stop it. Yeah, you still can't stop. And then that's the problem: is the more that you kind of get, trying to do something about it, that's when mistakes are made.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not always going to work out. The problem is that the Diamondbacks really need to continue to push the envelope when it comes to that kind of action. They need to continue to push that action, because when they don't, we've seen the offense stall out. Not only does it make the defense play differently and poorly, But I think it ultimately sparks the offense.
Like it makes pitchers uncomfortable as well.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And I do think it definitely is the kind of thing where like baseball there's so much momentum. Like you start getting rolling. You all of a sudden the guy that was standing on first 2 pitches ago is standing on third, and then it takes a single to get him in, and now everything is going your way. Like it's one thing to hit a home run, but when it becomes like this cascading thing where just like every at bat something starts going wrong for the other team and going right for you, like it's a good way to frustrate the opponent.
Get them off bound. Also, it takes multiple guys to do that because we've seen the minute that like Corbin Carroll is kind of either out of the lineup or being held back as far as that goes. They can't do it when just like Jake McCarthy is the only guy doing it on the base path out there. So like it just needs to be something that all 3 outfielders do, that Geraldo Perdomo and Cattell get in on. Like they have just a very fast team, and they can continue.
Even Gabby,
right? Yeah, they can continue to push that. Hell, like I said, Christian Walker. Look at him. Nick,
let's get Longoria.
No more, Nick. No more for you. What else we got? Jose Contreras asks us from Twitter, "What's the deal with Drew? I can't help but compare. Holiday is already promoted and invited to a future All-Star games, and our guy hasn't played much."
I mean, Drew's just always hurt.
That's the problem. Is Drew Jones is always hurt, and to be honest, this is minor leagues. I mean, this really is what it is. Minor leagues is going to involve a 19-year-old guy playing differently than a guy slightly older than him. Jackson Holiday already also 19, so I mean he's playing at a single A level. He's a very exciting player. I mean, he is the number 1 ranked prospect in all of baseball.
I believe he just got called up to Double-A.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing is you're not going to have these guys be able to progress at the same amount. Corbin Carroll, for instance, was an anomaly. He was an outlier, so you couldn't really compare the progression of other minor league players to Corbin Carroll. I mean, even in the case of some of the guys they've called up that they've already sent back down, we've seen them not really have a lot of patience with, like a Brandon Pfaadt, for instance, who is considered to be their best pitching prospect in the organization, but things haven't worked out well for him, and they haven't really kind of let him, come up at a major league level and find where he's at. Going back to your question, though, it's really injuries. Injuries is really what is holding Drew Jones back from playing and getting playing time, and of course, that's also keeping him pretty low on the top prospects list. He's the 14th prospect right now in baseball versus the fact that Jackson Holiday is number 1 overall. So Orioles know what they're doing, I guess.
Dude, talk about a farm system, man.
Talk about a farm system. My God.
The Orioles are the one team in the AL East where, like, no. Honestly, everybody but the Yankees in the AL East, like, I got a kind of a soft spot for. I spent so much time watching them that, like,
you went from only team to actually all 3 of the other teams are sick.
I can't compare my feelings for any of the other teams to my feelings for the Yankees. Like, I would like the Orioles to be good. That would be fun.
But he did, just for an update on the middle of June, he did start his rehab assignment with the rookie-level Arizona Complex League. So he's on his way back.
You can go see for free.
He's just not there yet. So if you're here in Arizona, go check out Drew Jones. What else we got, Damon? Let's get one more in there. Brian Lefevre asks, do you have a friend with a bidet? During a visit to their house, you have to use their bathroom. Would you use their bidet? What? Why wouldn't you? What are we doing here?
I mean, you're already sitting on your friend's toilet seat. Like, how much of a difference does that make at that point?
We're cheek to cheek at that point, right? Like,
I'd argue it's better than
it's better.
Sitting on the toilet seat.
There's no contact there. It's not like, do you understand how a bidet works, first off? Because like the implications from this question kind of make it feel
it's not
like
recycled water.
You think something is going to touch you.
Yeah.
And nothing touches you other than water.
Yeah. And also, if I were to smear shit on your arm right now, would you go wash it off, or would you grab a dry paper towel and try to wipe it off?
That's a tremendous
Every
point.
toilet should have a bidet.
Yeah,
Every single toilet. It should be a standard option. It's 2023. What are we doing
don't
here?
They even have like public bathrooms in Japan that have bidets? Like,
they should. I mean, like, I understand the idea of a remote control in a public bathroom is probably not the tidiest thing you might think of in your life. However, you're also touching that toilet paper roll. I'm just saying, it's right there. It's gross. We're all gross. We're disgusting animals.
I've never used a bidet.
We don't need to be. We can use bidets.
Like, that would be
evolved.
My bigger concern would be the fact that I've never used a bidet and I'm not trying to like flood someone's house or some shit. But like outside of that, if I knew what I was doing, absolutely. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there is a learning curve to it, right? But once you got it down, I feel like you're gonna get. It's like wiping your ass.
America does such
you have to figure out how to wipe your ass at some point, and that's,
let's get universal health care and fucking bidets in every household in America. What are we doing?
It's 2023, folks. That's all I'm saying.
It's a human right.
He says, I do a hot debate I've seen online about poop particles being spread by the shooting water. No, Brian.
Hey, I will say this. If you have your toothbrush in the bathroom and you don't put the seat down before you flush, you're a sick bastard. You're fucking disgusting, and I want nothing to do with you. It's spraying shit particles all over your toothbrush.
We're just
when you're brushing your teeth with it.
Live your best
Put your
life.
seat down. And also, do not use hand dryers. They don't work. They put more germs on your hands than it's better to not even wash your hands at that point. Watch Mythbusters.
These are facts, and he is a medical professional. You guys know that.
I'm a doctor.
Well, we thank you guys for your questions. We thank you for stopping by. Of course, make sure to check out your local Circle K for the best coffee, beer, snack selection.
I went to Circle K yesterday, first time since I got put on the thing, and I saw myself.
It's the best in gas station entertainment that you can get. Now his tiny soul is trapped in a gas pump, just like mine is.
I sold my soul in high school.
He sure did. But stock up at Circle K. It's America's thirst stop. Listen to both of us when we tell you to go inside and get a Polar Pop. They stay colder longer. Go do it and enjoy yourself. They also have iced coffee for $1.89. Red Bulls 3 for $8, 12 packs of beer for $9.99, Monsters 3 for $6, and so much more. Make sure you're not missing out on all this great stuff right now. Text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Head to circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. And of course, make sure to check out Four Peaks beers while you're there. Four Peaks is the official craft beer of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they do have their Four Peaks draft room located on the suite level down the first base line at Chase Field. It's a wonderful place to watch a game. So you can follow them at Four Peaks Brew or go to fourpeaks.com/events to stay up to date on everything Four Peaks, including their Teachers Tuesdays, which are going on right now at the 8th Street Pub every Tuesday through July. Bring a valid teacher ID and receive $4 pints of Kilt Lifter, Wow, Hazy, and Hop Knot. So again, check out at Four Peaks Brew at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. I'm not good with words sometimes, but of course I'm just jazzed. I got my Big League Chew shirt on. I'm ready to watch baseball. I'm ready to watch the Home Run Derby, which is one of my favorite things.
I can't wait, dog.
Whole world. So make sure to follow our Twitter account tonight because we're going to be having fun there. That's at PHNX_DBacks. I'm at Cap_Kman with a K. This maniac is at Shawn_DePaz.
Impromptu watch along for the Home Run Derby. I might just go on Twitch and
just pop on Twitch and get that, make that happen.
Follow me on Twitter.
Follow him on Twitter. Follow Damon. We are Damon Dogs, but his Twitter is Damon Dog, and that's DAWG. And we got a bark at the end, of course. But of course, Jesse, who's not here, is also a wonderful follow during All-Star Weekend for all of the festivities going on in Seattle. He is at Jesse N. Friedman. All roads, though, lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys, of course, for stopping by. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you loving baseball as much as we do. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you mash taters in the Derby.